Well, you know, there are plenty of towns, rivers, and beaches around Delmarva with what we could consider to be normal names. Ocean City, Princess Anne, the Wycomico River. And then on the other hand, there are those that might raise an eyebrow.
Places like Slaughter Beach and the Murderkill River. You might wonder how such thrilling names came to be. Well, it's a good thing that we have guests like our good friend Jim Duffy, author of Secrets from the Eastern Shore, to shed some light on the matters. How are you?
Hey,
Good afternoon.
Happy Throwback Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
So let's
Throwback Thursday.
Throwback Thursday, right. So let's go ahead and get started with Slaughter Beach.
Yes.
What are the theories to Slaughter Beach's name?
Slaughter Beach. There are some legends about Slaughter Beach. None of them are true, though.
Okay.
But they're still fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Legend number one. Way back early colonial times, there was a shipwreck.
Oh.
The ship was full of pigs. They slaughtered the pigs on the beach. They had a pig roast.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Okay.
Legend number two is something that still goes on today. May and June, the horseshoe crabs crawl up on the beach. It's one of the big places for the horseshoe crabs. And in the process of laying a lot of eggs, a lot of female horseshoe crabs die. So there are carcasses on Slaughter Beach.
That makes
That one
sense.
makes sense too.
The third is the grisliest, and that is there were rumors of an Indian uprising, and some colonists decided to nip that in the bud. And they slaughtered some Indians on Slaughter Beach.
Gosh,
Oh.
I don't know.
I don't know where these come from. I think if you live in a place like Slaughter Beach, you get sick of people asking you where the name came from. And so you start to have fun and make it up. You know what I mean?
Why not?
Because the actual truth is kind of boring.
I mean, that's what
But
I
it's
do.
got a twist.
Okay.
So for a long time, many decades, the theory was that there was a postmaster in that area named William Slaughter. And it was actually in one of the first editions of my book because it was generally accepted. But then I tuned into a Zoom presentation by a historian there, Diane Hinman, if I'm pronouncing her name right. And she found all kinds of problems with the story. He worked too far away. He worked at the wrong time period. You know, the cottages went up in the 1880s and he was working in the 1850s.
Okay.
Then she went all the way back to the 1600s and she found words like slaughter, like slater and slatter to describe what the beach is. And she dug into some linguistics, and it turns out that the fruits are like fruits over in England, and in Old English, it's like slaughter. So it's an Old
So it could have been
English thing.
misinterpreted then.
Yeah, it just got morphed into Slaughter Beach.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about Murderkill River. What's up
Murderkill
with that?
River, that's my favorite. I mean, the first time I saw that after I moved here, I was like,
Whoa.
what is that? The legend this time is that Indians again. There was a Dutch colony nearby. The Indians and the Dutch got in a fight, perhaps over women is the legend, and the Indians slaughtered the colonists. More colonists came. They figured out what happened. They wanted to get revenge. They tricked the Indians into coming to the beach to do some trading in pelts and furs and things like that. And soon the river was filled with the blood of the Indians.
Oh.
I think it's the same thing. People get sick of asking, where did Murderkill River get its name? Because it's another linguistic thing. The Dutch word for mother is moeder, and the Dutch word for river or stream is kill. So Murderkill is the mother river of
That
the
makes
area.
sense.
So what you're saying is we didn't really translate things very well when people came over
No,
here.
we didn't really translate things very well.
All right. So there's one that I noticed that it doesn't come off as provocative, but it is. The city of Wilmington.
The city of Wilmington was not always the city of Wilmington.
Really?
It was known as Willington with two L's and no M at first, after a guy named Thomas Willing. And he was a landowner there. And it started to change when a woman named Elizabeth Shipley had a dream. She's asleep one night. She sees, it comes over her rise. She sees this river, this beautiful valley. She wakes up, she says, my family's going to live there someday. She's a Quaker.
Okay.
As part of her Quakerism. She visits other Quaker communities, and she goes to Willington, and she comes over this rise, and there is her dream come true, sitting right there. And she does indeed convince her husband to move the whole family there.
Okay.
The town wasn't very big at the time, but the Shipleys were they drew a lot of other Quakers in.
Okay.
And the Quakers soon kind of took over the power of the town. Now, you know, these folks are renowned for being very saintly, very peaceful. Not so much in this case. They got in a big fight with Mr. Willing about some political thing. They overruled Mr. Willing. They were so mad at him that they wanted to change the name of the town, but they also wanted people to still recognize the town.
Gotcha.
And they figured out there was a guy in England, the Earl of Wilmington, who was a fast friend of the King of England.
Gotcha.
So they changed Willington to Wilmington as an act of spite. Not the best way to start a town, but things worked out.
It worked out.
Things worked out, okay.
Jim Duffy, Secrets of the Eastern Shore. Thank you so much.
Thank you, bud.
Thank you.
Interesting stories.